Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to Silver Arrow Tarot. It's me, Amanda. Today I'm going to be doing a channeling your highest timeline. So this was something that I was inspired, a topic I was inspired to do. I feel it was sort of a divine inspiration of sorts. But Spirit really wants me to communicate a few things, so I hope you don't skip past this part. Communicate a few things to you before you dive into your specific pile. I really wanted to mention what was kind of coming through in the pre-shuffle. I kind of like to pull a few cards to kind of give me a flavor for what's, the messages are going to be like. And so I'm going to show you because I feel like, I don't know. First of all, this deck is freaking like insanely powerful. It's called the El Goliath Tarot deck. The cards are rather large. That's my only critique of it. But like other than that, the cards themselves are absolutely profound. And so I really wanted to show you what I was seeing. And this was the first card that came out, Seven of Pentacles, and I really am not reading it as a Seven of Pentacles per se. It's more the imagery. It's this frog, and he has got his focus on that one fly. There's lots of little flies around, and so I feel like this is a real metaphor for your timeline. These are all your timelines, these little flies buzzing around, and you sort of have to hone in on and choose the one that is the best for you. And it's really reinforced by the second card that came out, the Queen of Wands. And it says the Cosmic Huntress. So there's like a hunter theme, like, prey and hunter theme here. And she's got the universe reflected in the irises of her eyes. And I just feel like that's a message about staying focused on a particular timeline and really, honing your energy, your focus, your vision towards one particular timeline. And also this card came out, which is the Three of Pentacles, and I really saw these as your spirit guides. They're, guiding you and giving you advice about which timeline to be on, because we have multiple timelines that we can be on. And you could talk about your highest timeline, but what I'm really feeling and seeing here is like there's multiple. And it's really about your soul's growth ultimately. So which timeline is your highest timeline is really the one that's going to give you the most growth and the most expansion. That's what your soul is really here for. So I often feel like we might think of our highest timeline in terms of the timeline that's going to be the most easeful, the one that's going to be the most joyful and with the least amount of problems, I guess I want to say. And so this is the final card that came out, the Five of Pentacles, and it's about hardship. So I feel like we are often looking for a way to get to our highest timeline to, in a sense, kind of bypass or maybe get away from certain hardships or, make our life easier and less chaotic or troublesome or painful, or I think you know what I'm saying. I think you know what I'm trying to get at. So I feel like it's not necessarily about getting away from the negative, and looking at your highest timeline in the terms of the one that's going to give you the most growth. And these cards flipped out from this deck, and really reinforced what I was getting here about. I really see this as the highest timeline being the pinnacle, and focusing on that and not worrying so much about the pain and the strife or the, you know, trying to get away from something. And the other thing that's coming through is that you can use this, if it brings up triggers for you, if you can use this reading in a way to sort of look at the fears that are blocking you, and work with them. Because I feel like, as I mentioned in my post on Facebook about this reading, it can feel a little disconnected, and you might not resonate. You might not feel like the pie you picked is resonating with you, because I'm really picking up on a version of you that you may not fully have embodied yet. And so this reading can really serve as a way for you to look at those blocks as they come up. You know, your limiting beliefs. Like if I say, oh, you're going to be famous, or you're going to be rich or something, I'm just giving an example. And there might be a part of you that comes forward and says, oh, that's never going to happen. Like, what is she talking about? And I encourage you to start to question those little thoughts in your head that might pop up as a result of me talking about certain things that might happen, and look at where you're maybe doubting yourself, or have some negative self-talk that could be reevaluated. So that's, I feel, yeah, that's all I really wanted to say for the preamble. I hope that was informative and helpful. So I'm going to shuffle your cards, and I'm going to put out piles, and I will be back in a few short seconds. All right, bye guys. Hello everyone. All right, I have pulled all of the 4 piles, and these are just your initial cards. I will be pulling from more cards from the El Goliath, this Tree Spirit Tarot, and the Sacred Symbol Oracle deck. So watch all the way through for all of your cards, because I pull some of the cards towards the end. All right, so we have pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, and pile 4. And I'm going to do a little sage. And I encourage you to take some deep breaths and really take a moment to tune in. All right, guys, I will see you in your pile, and enjoy. Bye. Hi, pile 1, beautiful pile 1. Welcome to your reading. This is your channeled highest timeline. So I already pulled some cards. We'll take a look at them, and we'll look at the meanings. So first of all, you got the 10 of Pentacles, the Oyster of Metatron, which is such a gorgeous card, especially to start right off. It's a good sign. So you received 4 of Pentacles, the Prudent Mountain Goat, and we have the 5 of Cups, the Split Regret, and it's in reverse. And you also have the Yes card, very nice, and the Hermit in reverse, the Inner Master, nice little cute little armadillo. Love it. Okay. And your Tree Spirit cards, I used those to clarify the main cards here. So the Sun is the card that was clarifying the Ten of Pentacles, renewal. The Two of Fruit Trees, Quince, unity, and the U, paradox, Hanged Man, are clarifying the Four of Pentacles here. And you have Magnolia, Earthkeeper, Hardwoods, Independence, in reverse, clarifying your Five of Cups. You have Four of Evergreens, Redwood, community, and Pair, separation, Five of Fruit Trees, in reverse, clarifying the yes. And you have Myrtle, harmony, the Lovers, clarifying your Hermit, in reverse. Okay, so right off of the bat, guys, I was hearing the song from Annie, "The sun will come out tomorrow, let your bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow there'll be sun." So that's what I was hearing. So that there's a lot of meanings there, right? Because Annie is, you know, the orphan archetype. So first of all, they're hitting me right off the gate with the fact that you are going to come, you're going to feel in your highest timeline is coming a lot of satisfaction, a lot of contentment, a lot of, with the Ten of Pentacles, it's a lot of, it's about wealth, it's about money, it's about family, it's about inheritance, it's about legacy. So building a family, the wealth of having a generational legacy, right? So that's really interesting, especially because you have some other cards here that indicate connection to groups of people. So we have the Four of Pentacles, and that's really, I really heard that you've climbed, you've climbed to the top of a mountain. You're going to be climbing and having, I mean, first of all, it's like, looks like someone who can see from a higher perspective, right? So, but it's also very, looks kind of isolating. So you may be on a journey of being, like isolated or alone, or you know, kind of on a singular path by yourself for a while, or you've had to struggle through a lot of you know, situations where you had to walk away. With this Five of Cups, that's sort of kind of the vibe that I'm getting. Had to walk away from very emotionally unfulfilling situations, relationships, but that's coming to an end. That's really what I'm hearing. It's like this, and maybe there's been a split within you about, like, you know, wanting or not wanting to be around people, or having, you know, maybe a disorganized type of an attachment, like love, hate, kind of like want it but push it away, or feeling like it's difficult to maintain closeness with people. But these cards here are telling me that you will find a unity, and you will find an inner and outer unity, because I'm getting that, like, there might be a split between some kind of aspects of you, but like maybe even masculine and feminine, with the Lovers here. So finding healing with this paradox between masculine and feminine dynamics, or the inner child part of you that pushes people away, and the maybe more conscious part of you that wants to be close to people and wants family and maybe wants marriage, wants to be in a long-term committed partnership, wants to start a family, wants the whole package, wants the happily ever after, doesn't want to be alone anymore, doesn't want to live these have these abandonment issues going on. So that's what I'm seeing, is that this is really coming to an end for you. These patterns in your highest timeline, this separation from community, family, closeness, you're really going to be overcoming these, and so much love and so much unity is coming to you, so much connection and closeness, and I mean, the Ten of Pentacles is like the ultimate. This time, these times that you spent in isolation and being going inward and being alone, and this may have been a very painful, this journey that you're on has probably been a very painful process of having to continually maybe walk away from things, realizing that they are not fulfilling for you. And because we have those kind of wounds, we tend to repeat a lot of the same and be attracted to the same kind of people that give us the same kind of mirroring of, like, the not feeling included, not belonging, not quite fitting, not quite being the right fit for a partner, friendships, community. But these things are this ultra independence is coming to an end. This pattern will be resolved. The magnolia is such a beautiful flower. I encourage you to connect with this flower, this tree, because it's one of the oldest flowers in existence, and it's beautiful, but it's also so incredibly strong and so resilient. It's pollinated by beetles and not bees. That's how old it is. It's been around since before bees were a thing on planet Earth, and so they've really persevered, and they're very ancient. And so I feel like that's kind of a message to you about staying on this path, and because it's going to eventually get you somewhere really beautiful if you keep going. There's a lot of harmony and beauty coming your way. And this paradox, this split is going to be healed. And there's so much, it's really creating a lot of strength for you, like a lot of inner strength. So that's the beauty that's coming out of it. Yeah, so from the, what are these called? Oh goodness. Why can't I remember now? Sacred Symbols. Sacred Symbols Oracle. Well, I pulled 3 of these cards for you for final messages. So we have meditate, wealth, another message on wealth, if we didn't already have enough. So obviously, meditate is the message. But I feel like specifically meditate on the kind of wealth that you want to bring into your life. Like I said in the preamble, it's really important that we focus on what we want, kind of like the hunter owl who's got her sights set on a specific frequency, a specific timeline, a specific outcome. Really spend some time dedicated every day to sort of like visualizing the wealth that you want to bring into your life and really feeling that, really being passionate about it, getting into the feeling state of it. Try to make it a fun experience, you know. It doesn't have to be like, I don't want this to be like homework, but like it's really good to spend 5-10 minutes every morning just sort of like sitting in that feeling state of you already having what you want. That can be the most powerful way to bring about being a match to your highest desires. So feeling, being passionate, connecting to your wealth, abundance mentality, what you want to see, how it feels. You may want to be, you may want to be kind of like the King of Pentacles here. I'm getting kind of King of Pentacles vibe of like being the provider for a family. So yeah, envision that. See that for yourself. See that coming. Imagine it in detail. Imagine what it feels like to be really generous and giving, and having a family to give to, having a community to give to, being of service, being of value. How do you see, how do you see your value and what you can give to people? And maybe this is a message about getting clear on that, what value you have to offer. Meditate on that. All right, guys, I hope this was helpful. Really beautiful message. I loved I love this. It came together very, very smoothly. And yeah, it was really fun to channel your highest timeline. And as always, it was an honor to read your cards. I hope you join me again soon. Thanks so much. Bye. Hello, beautiful pile 2. Welcome to your reading all about your channeled highest timeline. Let me take a sip of tea. Okay, let's look at your cards and then we'll get into the messages. Well, as you can see, a lot came out. I used the Tree Spirit deck to clarify your main cards from the Algoliath deck. So the first card out here was the Ten of Wands, the Overburdened Beetle, and it came out in reverse. And your second card, Ten of Cups, which is the Joyous Sky. And I'm really happy that this came out because the Ten of Pentacles came out for pile 1. So lots of 10 energy, which kind of makes sense, right? Because it's like the penultimate, the completion, the culmination kind of our lives, of our pursuits. So you also received the Star, the Cosmic Guide in reverse here. And you have Judgment, and it's called the Transcendence in reverse. Very kind of a similar vibe, although a totally different reading, but there's pile 1 also kind of had a message about overcoming. And you have the Moon, the Silver Shadow Reflector. Now, let's look at the clarifiers. So for the Ten of Wands in reverse here, clarified by Hemlock Grace, 3 of Evergreens. You have your Ten of Cups, the Joyous Sky, clarified by the Emperor, Oak, Divine Nature, and the Pioneer of Fruits, Mulberry, Abundance. And we have clarifying your star, Pear, 5 of fruit trees, separation, and 4 of hardwoods, larch, connection. Very interesting, right? Separation and connection. Like, it's polar opposite energies. And we have clarifying your judgment. We have calling, wanderer, which is the fool in traditional tarot, and earth keeper of nuts, sacred cacao. And I love these two together, the calling, the sacred calling. If you put those two together, the sacred calling. So, and finally, we have clarifying the moon is the hermit, reflection, and pistachio, generosity, 6 of nuts, which very interestingly, it says reflector, and I find that pretty interesting. Reflection, reflector. All right, so first thing I'm hearing is that you're going to be releasing any old burdens with regards to emotional baggage. And with this clarification of the 10 of Wands with your 10 of Wands with grace here, I feel that it's time for you to look into connecting with the vibration of grace. I know for me personally, I don't know about everybody else, but grace was kind of a foreign word to me. I mean, I'd heard it. It feels like a very biblical word. And so I didn't really have a good grasp on it. But I encourage you to read definitions, connect with that vibration, and find ways to have more grace with yourself through your process of living in your journey through life, because grace can be a wonderful way to help us release ourselves from burdens, from trapped emotions. I'm really getting you're on a path of releasing a lot of trapped emotions. I'm getting a lot of visuals with bubbles, like because there's this feeling, especially with this card, it's such an interesting depiction for me of the 10 of Cups, but just because 10 of Cups is water, and so we do have these whales, these killer whales, but they're in the sky, they're in the clouds, so it's air. So this card is really talking to me about combining air and water. And that can be an alchemical process that might be helpful for you in terms of alchemizing darker, negative, harder emotions, is thinking about how you can combine the air element to help you overcome heavier, denser emotions. Yeah, both this card and this card are really talking to me about that. You know, things are surfacing, things can be coming to the surface through the use of air. And if you listen to Amanda Ellis, she was also talking about this with her sprays that she sells. And air element spray is like the least bought spray, one of her least bought sprays, and she finds that very interesting. And because it's given the situations that we've been going through in the collective, the air element can actually be a very healing element to work with, given the time period that we are in. So I don't know, you might want to check that. I guess I'm mentioning it for a reason, so you may want to check her out, Amanda Ellis. So you have divine nature and abundance clarifying this card. And it's interesting because I'm really picking up a lot of energy around ancestors, around connecting to Mother Earth, connecting to the cycles of nature. This is part of your highest timeline, is that you're going to be finding a lot of joy and a happiness through connecting with your ancestors. An ancestral guide is really here to actually work with you and help you on your path to your highest timeline, through you kind of exploring how everything is perfectly, how do I want to say this, your place in the divine cosmic web of life, and how your ancestors before you everything is sort of lined up for you to be exactly where you are and have the exact challenges that you have, and it's the exact perfect wounds and issues that you need in order to come into a greater awareness and greater expansion, and greater connection with yourself, through an experience of being separate from that which you want to experience. So we don't know black unless we don't know white unless we understand black. We don't understand sour unless we have tasted sweet. It's like the beauty of contrast. I really feel like your journey is about you really transcending this contrast, especially in the emotional, in the context of your emotions, and this is helping you on a journey to really know your sacred calling. You're really going to be coming into embodying your sacred calling in this lifetime, and having a deep sense of purpose and knowing about who you are on a soul level. And a lot of this, I feel, is coming through connection to Mother Earth and through connection to your ancestors. Yeah, there's a transcendence here. There's a justice with everything that your ancestors have gone through in your lineage, and that you're really going to be making them proud, and yeah, you're gonna be coming into like what the desires that they birthed in their lives, but maybe never could finally get to or achieve in their living embodiment, but you're going to be getting there for them, and they're really supporting you in that, and they really want to be there for you, and they're really cheering you on. There's a sense of being maybe cut off for a time. This separation card also is telling me this. There's like maybe you've been feeling cut off from your emotions, and there's the Hermit came up in pile 1 as well. So there's I guess just a nod here that everyone goes through these like inner discovery passages in their lives where they might feel alone and isolated, lacking connection, either to people or to life or to Mother Earth, to their purpose. And that's actually part of this beautiful, greater experience. Experiencing that separation is a catalyst to greater depths, if that makes sense. Yeah. There's a message here about you're going to be reflecting and healing an abundance mindset and really seeing what abundance means. Because there's kind of a lack of pentacles here. Let me see if that's true. Wait a minute, this is pentacles, okay. You have these two pentacles. I really feel like your journey is maybe not so much of a journey about money, but like abundance in terms of seeing the abundance of Mother Nature, the connecting to the abundance of nature and really seeing that. Because if we really spend some time thinking about it, contemplating it, you really start to be in awe of just how much the earth provides for us, how much there is more than enough, the way that the trees, the plants, the animals gift us, Mother Earth gives to us, the rain, the sun, the wind. The earth is just always kind of giving, and because of the way society is, we can be very disconnected from the natural overflow that there is for us. In our boxed little houses, in our going to the grocery store every day and looking and really resourcing things from manufactured goods. It's easy to forget that our ancestors really had everything that they needed provided to them by nature itself. So I went over grace and overflowing connection to the, yes, okay, so I pulled these final cards from the Sacred Symbols deck, and you received love, you received Kirpan, and talisman. So your final message is really about connecting to your joy, connecting to your passion, and any kind of period of being cut off or disconnected from that passion was actually the key to you really finding it and really questioning it deeply and becoming really clear on what that is for you, and really going deep and spending that time in reflection, even though it may have been uncomfortable, may have been prolonged, could have been, I don't sense it's terribly prolonged, but some prolonged. Some of you may have been through a prolonged period of disconnection. However long that this disconnection lasts is really going to pay off in the end, and it's going to really get you clearer than most in terms to your core and your real purpose in life. And I feel like you may even be teaching people in the future how to connect into and utilize nature's abundance in their own lives. Because I really see with this Emperor card here, I feel like that's you're going to be in a leadership position to show other people their abundance. And that's going to bring you a lot of joy, that process. will be very fulfilling for you. So this is what I'm seeing for pile 2. I really hope this helped you. I hope this was beneficial. Thank you for joining me. It was an honor always to read your cards, and I hope to see you again in the next one. All right. Bye, guys. Hi, beautiful pile 3. Welcome to your reading. This is your channeled highest timeline. All right. We'll just jump into the cards. This kind of, frankly, these cards really, I was gobsmacked. I don't use that word. I was gobsmacked by these cards, and you'll see why in a second. So let's just look at them straight off the bat here. You got the Ace of Wands in reverse. And I'm like, okay. But then the second card came out, and it was the Ace of Cups in reverse. And I'm like, whoa, okay. And then I'm like, all right, where is this going? And we have, believe it or not, Ace of Swords. So you have 3 of the 4 aces flying out right in a row, which tells me this is a very different reading than the other 2 right away. So yeah, so let's continue. Let's see. I'm sorry, by the way, that all these cards do not fit in frame. I just, you know, they came out, and that's how many came out. So you have the Eight of Wands, which is the meteor shower in reverse. Definitely the most cards of any pile so far, guys. So lots of messages. You have the World, which says the sacred circle, and I'm going to get to that in a second. And then you have Queen of Wands, the Cosmic Huntress, which was the card that came out in the pre-shuffle. So very interesting. Very, very, very interesting stuff happening right away. I clarified the Ace of Wands in reverse, and we have Action and Challenge, Guardian of Evergreens, and the Tower. Okay. We clarified the Ace of Cups with the 7 of Hardwoods, which is 7 of Swords, and the regular Rider-Waite, Dogwood Stealth. Okay. And we have Hierophant clarifying the Ace of Swords, Cedar, Faith. Going on to clarify the Eight of Wands in reverse, we have 7 of Nuts, Cashew, Reward. And then these were the ones that don't quite fit. We have Clarifying the World. We have 2 of Fruit Trees, Quince, Unity. We have Coconut, 8 of Fruit Trees, Journey, in reverse. And we have Pioneer of Evergreens, Arbor Verte, Inspiration. Not sure if that's how you say it. So those were the clarifying for the world. And we have clarifying the Queen of Wands, 4 of Fruits, Plum, Patience, 10 of Fruits, Cherry, Sweetness, in reverse, and 3 of Fruit Trees, Pawpaw, Celebration, in reverse. Okay. All right, so I need to get this right off the bat. So I heard immediately the song from The Lion King came straight at me, and I had to look up all the lyrics, but I was hearing, you know, The Circle of Life. Not going to sing it to you. Pile 1 was lucky enough to get me serenading them terribly, but unfortunately it's not going to happen for you guys. But I will read you the lyrics because I feel like it's super, 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 super good and super important. So the lyrics are, "From the day we arrive on this planet and blinking step into the sun, there's more to see than can ever be seen. There's more to do than can ever be done. There's far too much to be taken in here, far more to find than can ever be found. But the sun rolling high through the sapphire sky keeps great and small on the endless round. It's a circle of life, and it moves us all through despair and hope, through faith and love, till we find our place on the path unwinding." And I underlined the path unwinding because that's the only lyric other than the circle of life that I was hearing initially, so I feel like that's kind of important. The circle of life. So right away, kind of the vibe I'm getting here, guys, is that we might have a little bit of a destination addiction, but this is about your highest timeline, so I feel that you're going to really be overcoming this sense that there's some new mountain to climb. With all these aces in reverse, it's like you're always looking for like a new beginning, a new challenge, a new idea, that new inspiration. And I feel that this is going to be something that you're going to be, in your highest timeline, this will be something that you will overcome, something that will be a challenge you won't have anymore. So yeah, there's this with the this is typically the Eight of Wands, so there's a sense of rushing into things, or a sense of like, really wanting to drive forward, continual forward movement, continual kind of achievement, action, challenges. There's a challenge with regards to how you take actions, but this is definitely going to be something that you can overcome in your highest timeline and really settle in. I hear a lot of messages around relaxing, having faith, settling into a rhythm with life, getting clear and garnering this wisdom that there is no destination, there is no end. It's a circle. We are on this circle, right? There's nowhere to get to. Life is the destination. Life is about the journey. The sweetness is in the experiences. The juiciness, the fruits are in the emotional experiences and rewards of our lives. And the song is really saying to me, like, there's more to be seen that can never be seen, right? There's more to be done that can never be done. You can continually climb new mountains. There will always be a new one. There will always be something new to challenge you, new to master. But this can become a bit of a white whale that you're chasing, and lead to a sense of dissatisfaction and happiness that doesn't need to be there. Because if you can settle in and realize that there's no rush, because there's nothing, you can't get it all done, you can't complete it all. That's an impossible journey, that's an impossible task, and that's really not the point of life. It's not the reason we came here, in the pursuit of just achievement. That's not the end goal. So I really feel like there's an emotional component here, that finding connection with you're going to be finding connection to your emotions and the beauty of that as kind of the thing to aspire to. You know, that the rewards are really inward. There's a lot of inward feeling energy here. These cards are all reversed, so it's really, this is outward energy. I'm feeling inward energy. Instead of this spiral going out, it's like going in. Instead of she looking outward, it being in reverse, it's like looking inward into your inner universe, into your inner world. This is where the juiciness, the sweetness, the celebration of those things, the inner achievements, are really where the meat, the juice, the goodness, you know, is in life. And I feel like you're really going to find that in your highest timeline. And that's something that your soul came here to really learn. So in your highest timeline, I feel that you're really going to, instead of sort of hiding your emotions, you're going to learn to really be open with your emotions. You know, the Ace of Cups to me is often speaks about self-love. So you're going to become very adept and able to connect with your feelings and share them with others. With the Ace of Swords, I feel like you're going to find greater faith in your own mental clarity and your ideas, and trust in your inspirations and your wisdom, and the clarity of come into a greater clarity with your thoughts, and have faith in your beliefs and your mental body. And yeah, you're going to overcome this destination addiction and continual striving for more, forward movement, in the extreme kind of sense. You're going to be able to relax into your life and just allow the journey to be the beauty of it all, and really relish that and revel in that. And you know, this really feels like a beach vacation to me. You know, how can you make life feel like a beach vacation every day? You're gonna have, that's going to be way more inspiring to you than trying to find that next mountain to climb, and that next new thing, you know, that thing to achieve. Finding patience with yourself and with life, knowing that there is no end goal. So your final cards that I pulled from the Sacred Symbols deck, you received water, knowledge, earth, and blessings. So yeah, this really supports what the rest of the reading was saying for you, that your emotions and your embodiment here on earth is the blessing, the experience, the sensual, tactile experiences, the emotional journey and experiences are the knowledge, that they are the payoff. The knowledge of all of this, just embodiment of life, is the blessing in being here and experiencing life. There is no greater blessing than the joy of making someone else happy, or making, you know, and creating something that really lights you on fire. these are the nuggets of gold in our earthly experience. These are the things that light us up. And I really feel like you're going to experience that in your highest timeline. And it's quite a beautiful reading, quite honestly. I really feel like that's a very highly evolved timeline. You know, that's quite advanced to get to that. So I hope this was helpful. Thank you so much for joining me. It was an honor to read your cards, and I hope you'll join me again. Leave a comment below if you've enjoyed this reading, and I will see you in the next one. All right, bye guys. Hello, beautiful pile 4. Welcome to your reading. This is your channeled highest timeline. So let's look at your cards. I can't really fit all of them on the screen, so I will try to, let me go through them and then I'll try to fit them. Yeah, this has been lots of cards today, so a little difficult. I might need to get a new setup here, but let's look. So you have 6 of Pentacles, the Sacred White Scale Bull in reverse. And you received the 7 of Cups, the Tentacles of Illusion in reverse. You received the Beaming the Vessel, 4 of Wands. And we have the 5 of Wands, the Jagged Union in reverse. Now I clarified with the Tree Spirit deck, and High Priestess, Pomegranate Intuition is clarifying the 6 of Pentacles. We have Star, Cottonwood Hope, clarifying the 7 of Cups. We have 10 of Hardwoods, Change, clarifying the 4 of Wands. And we have the Devil card, Apple, Shadow, clarifying the 5 of Wands reversed. Okay. And then the ones that I couldn't fit in, you have the 10 of Pentacles, Oyster of Metatron in reverse, clarified by the Fig, Nurture, and Hermit, Reflection. It's interesting because the Hermit showed up in quite a few of the readings. So it really tells me that, again, there's this sense of everyone's sort of having to go through a period of going inward, spending a time away from others, maybe in a period of total isolation or semi-isolation, to sort of get to this highest timeline. It's sort of a necessary process almost to get to this highest timeline. So maybe that offers some comfort to people who have been going through difficult periods of not feeling connected to others, connected to themselves, connected to life, connected to the world, connected to spirit, connected to God. All right. Almost all the piles also got a sort of a channeled song. So I kind of asked just because I was curious, what would be the song for this pile? And I actually got, I don't know who the artist is, but it's celebrate good times, come on. That song, I'm sure people know this. Hopefully you know that song. I hear it all the time on the radio or whatever. So kind of a good sign, I feel, that this is that good times are coming, that your highest timeline includes a lot of good times, good feelings, good emotions, and reasons to celebrate. So hopefully that's a nice confirmation for some of you. So let's get into the High Priestess. I feel like intuition is a big growth point for this pile. And the good news is your highest timeline is that you're really getting super intuitive, super psychic. Through some of these experiences of discerning who was not good for you, who was not did not have your best interests at heart, was not in a reciprocal mode of giving and receiving, may have been more of a taker, and wasn't really offering you the support, the nurturance that you really deserved and you really needed. So your High Priestess is really coming online in your highest timeline. As well as this really also kind of ties into that, because the Seven of Pentacles is a card of indecision. It's kind of a card of like, oh, do I want the butterflies? Do I want, you know, the witch's hat? Do I want like the ivy? There's a snake in that one. There's fire in that one. Like, using your intuition to sort of pick, and having moments of lack of clarity gets us better in touch with our ability to discern when we make certain decisions, and maybe we felt like we made the mistake. It's like we're learning each time we make the mistake, or we make the choice and we pick the wrong cup, or maybe we pick the right cup and it's like, okay, now I'm starting to feel into what it means, you know, what that feeling state is when I'm like when I've honed into the one that's good, that's the one that, you know, that's the right thing for me. So there's a lot of hope coming forward. There's also a lot of stability coming forward in your highest timeline. You're really going from a period of instability to stability. I feel like with this change, clarifying this card, this might be actually ironically destabilizing to come into a space of like, oh wow, like this is really solid. So it might be kind of a bit of a adjustment feeling, for once, that something or someone can be relied on. And so you can look forward to a lot more stability, a lot more clarity, a lot of increased psychic awareness, getting really good at, you know, reading people, reading situations, knowing what's good for you, knowing what's right or wrong for you, and getting out of this energy of being trapped in uncomfortable situations that you didn't sign up for, or you're like, oh wait, this is not what I had in mind. Yeah, I mean, this Jagged union is kind of an odd, I have to say, it's kind of an odd thing to the name of this card. I don't know if I've ever heard of the word jagged used like that, or I would say jagged, but union also is very interesting. So really speaking to me about relationships, maybe codependent kind of dynamics, or narcissistic type situations, are going to be a thing of the past. You're really overcoming that. It's when you're really tapped into your High Priestess, no one can really fuck with you right like that anymore, because you're going to be able to read people that don't have good intentions like from a mile away. And it's always let's be honest, it's always the romantic connections that really get us the most hamstrung. You know, when you're not that into a person, like if you're just like, they're cool, whatever, it's a lot easier to be like, all right, I can walk away from this. I don't have to accept bad behavior from this person. But once we're locked into a certain person, we tend to put up with a lot more bad behavior, and we tend to have a lot more blind spots um, in our psyche for bad behavior. We don't recognize when it's happening. So it's about like really getting, you're going to be really getting good at boundaries with people like this, and not putting up with shit from people who, you know, they might be really handsome, they might be really beautiful, they might be really sexy, they might say all the right things, they might know exactly how to, you know, how to please you. But when it comes to actually treating you like a decent human being, you're not putting up with that anymore, and you're not going to fall for the facade. And with, like I said, for pile 1, because pile 1 also got this 10 of Pentacles, there's a strong emphasis for you with family ties. I heard puzzle pieces falling together. So like all of the things that you've gone through in life are really going to fall into place, and really, it's really going to come full circle. You're going to be able to reflect on your life in a way that's going to like serve you instead of bring you down. You're going to tell your story in a way that really nurtures you and supports you, and any kind of self-critical voices you're going to be able to talk to yourself in a lot more self-loving way. I heard deep roots with this card, so there's, again, goes back to this family, like family connections, deep community, feeling connected to a community, and nurtured by the people around you instead of drained. You know, a lot of people read the 4 of Wands as a marriage card too. So marriage is on your highest timeline for sure. Yeah, your hopes and dreams. Basically, whatever you've been harboring in your heart in terms of your hope for your future, for your life, is possible. And it's there on your highest timeline. So let's look at your final cards from the Sacred Symbols Oracle. Oh, I'm sorry. One more thing. I just glanced at my notes. Sometimes I write down little key words for the reading. I heard broken picker. So you might have felt like you just couldn't seem to pick the right kind of person, but that's going to heal. In your highest timeline, you won't be picking the wrong people. You'll have a healed picker. You'll have your radar for people is going to be like super on point. You're going to know exactly who is healthy for you and who is unhealthy for you, and you're going to have really good boundaries about that. All right, so what did you get? You have gift, blessings, Kirpan, meditate, and void. So your advice really is to really, like the song, celebrate good times. Get into this vibration of blessings and gratitude, and meditate on that. They really want you to cut ties with old ways of thinking about your life. Like, these things are going to be taken out of your life. Like, and there might be a point of feeling a void, but just ride it out, because all these blessings and gifts are coming after the void period, after the period of going inward and reflection. I'm really seeing that if you stay focused, like my preamble was talking about, staying focused on what you know you deserve, is really going to just pull that right to you. And imagine these things just sort of dropping away. Imagine these bad people, negative experiences just sort of dropping out of your existence. I'm in this process right now, as I'm doing a lot of meditating on future timelines as well, and getting myself into the feeling state of what it feels like to already have the things in my life that I want. And even though those things haven't necessarily manifested yet, even just the process of doing that is kind of the reward, right? Because you're feeling good. You're feeling good when you're thinking and feeling and tapping into these future timelines. So it's not like it's hard work. It's not like I understand that it can be hard work, pulling yourself into a space where you can feel those feelings, but once you get there, it's kind of the reward in and of itself. It's kind of just like showing up, like Yoga with Adrienne. She always says, you've done the hard work. You've turned the video on. You're sitting on your mat right now listening to me. The hardest part is just showing up. So if you can just show up, to create space for the feeling state of the blessings and the gifts that the universe is trying to give you, that's the 1% effort, and the 99% is the universe is gonna meet you there and gonna give you those things. So I hope this reading was helpful. This is all I'm seeing for you today. I really enjoy spending time with you. I hope that this resonated, and it was an honor to read your cards. I always get so much out of this, and I hope you enjoyed it too. So thank you for being here. Thank you for spending time with me, and I'll see you again in the next one. All right, bye guys.